Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to do a beer that's half Greek, half English. For the English side we're going to go down to Leeds in Yorkshire in England once again, a very good beer city these days, and we're going to revisit Northern Monk Brewery. And this is a beer from their Patrons project, and kind of coincidentally, or ironically I guess you would say, the Greek side of this beer actually comes from a brewery that I reviewed very recently for you as well. I had no idea that this brewery had actually been getting a little bit more involved over in England and stuff like that. But we're going to return to the Seven Island Brewery, who are from Corfu on the Ionian Islands in Greece, and this beer itself is Patrons Project number 2.05 if I'm remembering correctly. It's called The Lost Highway, and the art guys in this one are called the Nomad Clan as well, so I'll tell you a little bit about them a wee bit later on. But this one is a 7.4% IPA. It's supposed to be, they're describing it on the side of the can here, where is it again? Passion fruit, mango, milk sugar and vanilla IPA they're describing this one, but it's got a really nice hop bill in it, and you know, knowing both breweries, this one will be a pretty good beer. So hopefully it's a good review, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the breweries involved here. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Northern Monk and from Seven Islands before. No doubt there will be some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beers based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there both for the English beers that I've reviewed for you and for the Greek ones, both being added to just as I go along. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Northern Monk then. So as I've told you before, Northern Monk are based in Leeds, and they were founded back in 2013 by Russell Bissett. So he started brewing in his mum's basement, and he launched officially at the Sparrow Beer Cafe in Bradford. But in August of 2014, they moved into the Old Flax store in the city of Leeds at the Marshall's Mill, and they've been working to expand their capacity there ever since. But they say that they like to pay homage to the old monastic brewing in England that went on for centuries, but it's largely overlooked these days. Of course, when most people think about monastic brewing, they do think about the Trappist beers from Belgium, but monastic brewing was very big in England back yonder as well, I guess you could say. But at the brewery they also have the Old Refectory, which is their bar and restaurant. They've always got some really nice beers on tap. There are quite a few brewery exclusives from what I understand, but they currently brew over 20,000 pints of beer per week, which goes all over the world. And they have this Patrons project here as well, where they team up with other breweries and also local restaurants and artists and things like that as well. So a very cool brewery, and if you've not had the chance, Northern Monk are definitely one of the ones that you really want to check out at some point if you get the chance. They do some awesome beers. They do seem to be focusing more on the IPAs and stuff these days, although that said, there have been a few imperial stouts and things come out from them recently, but one of the English breweries that you really do want to check out. So as always, I'll put the link and the website and the Facebook link in the description for you below, so make sure you check out those if you want to learn a little bit more. So anyway, on to the Seven Island Brewery from Greece then. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, the Seven Island Brewery are based in Corfu, and they were founded back in 2013 by Lefteris, who also says that he likes to be known as Terry, just to make it a bit easier for the English speakers, of course, because Greek is, you know, a pretty crazy language. It's got its own arm on the whole Indo-European chain and things. But he started homebrewing in late 2009, and he just loves creating his own beers from scratch, and says that he's pretty much addicted to craft beer, and who can blame him really. But apparently his favourite styles of beer are imperial stouts and double IPAs, along with some of the fruity sour ales that are popping up these days as well. But the brewery won the best new brewer in the world and the best brewer in Greece from Rate Beer in 2017, so they do have a really good pedigree in there. And the Citra Blast also entered the best 100 in the world, and it's rated as the best beer from Greece as well. But for the last year they've been gypsy brewing, but they will have their own brewery in Corfu by the end of 2018, and apparently there are plans for a barrel aging project in the new brewery, so they'll be producing a lot of barley wines and imperial stouts. And he did tell me that they will produce a Scotch ale at some point as well, so I really hope that I can review that for you on the channel. But they've been doing a number of collaboration brews recently as well. This guy is of course one of those, but the brewery itself is named after the Seven Ionian Islands, which are distinct for being under Venetian rule rather than Ottoman rule, and this meant that they developed quite a distinct culture. Of course, it became a little bit more Italian influenced rather than kind of Ottoman influenced as well. So the Ionian Islands, somewhere that I really do want to go and visit in the future. I really enjoyed my time over in Greece when I was there recently. And I did see that the craft beer scene over there was really starting to thrive as well. There's some really, really good craft beers coming out. I mean, you've got Seven Islands, you've got Satyr Brew, you've got Strange Brew, you've got Noctua in Athens as well. There's quite a lot of good breweries starting to pop up in Greece. So if you get the chance to try some Greek craft beers, I highly recommend that you do. But the Seven Island Brewery are one of the ones that are really highly rated over there at the moment. So make sure you check them out. I'll put their website and the brewery link in the description for you as well if you want to check them out. But yeah, that's all you need to know about the breweries. Let's get on to the actual beer itself. So as I've always told you, these beers, the Patrons Project beers, usually involve a local artist as well. So I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork on the can there. As I told you at the start of the video, this one is a 7.4% IPA. The artist in this one is the Nomad Clan. The beer itself is called The Lost Highway, but nicely presented, this one. I'll just open up the little label thing. This is one of the things you can always do with these Northern Monk beers. They've always got this little sticky label and it opens up like this, which is pretty cool. So there you can see, and I do like it because it does get different artwork and stuff out there, but it tells you on the side here, there's a little bit about the Nomad Clan. So it says inside here, so Nomad Clan is a collective of C Blocks and ALO, an internationally acclaimed street art muralist duo based in Manchester. When the pair collaborate, the fusion delivers unmistakable style. The audience get a glimpse into another dimension, one shaped entirely by Nomad Clan, the places they visit and the people they meet on their journeys together. Each mural has a strong significance to the environment it sits in, combining playful scenes, often from northern heritage, with detailed portraits of characters from some of the tales they hear in their local watering holes. The main focus of the work is to proudly celebrate local history, but on a deeper level often contains socio-economic issues affecting the area. For example, the demise of the fishing industry, the closure of the mills and the lack of jobs, inner city social deprivation, etc, etc. So there you can see it on the side there. There's some of their artwork there, which it is actually pretty cool. I do quite like that. You can see on the inside of the can there, just next to my middle finger there, you can see the Seven Islands Brewery symbol. There's the Northern Monk one, of course, and it does tell you a little bit about the Seven Island Brewery on the side here. It says Seven Island are one of the rising stars of the European craft brewing scene, we were delighted to bring over from Greece to pour at their first international festival, Hop City, off the back of their great results in Rate Beer Awards. They were really keen to brew a fruited milkshake IPA, as laws back home prevent them from doing so themselves. This beer ticks all of those boxes, with both mango and passion fruit added to boost the tropical notes of the Citra and Mosaic hops. We then added vanilla to complement the smoothness brought to the style by the lactose sugar. So it sounds like it will be a really nice beer, this one. So as I told you at the start, this one is a 7.4% IPA. It's hot with Citra, Mosaic, Victoria's Secret and Eldorado, and you know, it should be pretty good. The guys, this was a beer that I actually bought from Market Hall Wines in Durham, and Mike in there did mention to me that the reason they'd done that milkshake IPA was because in Greece they weren't allowed to do it, because if it was milkshake the kids would want to buy it. There is some kind of strange law there. I'm not sure if that's limited to Corfu, so if you are watching from Corfu or from Greece, do tell me about that. I would be interested to hear. But there is a kind of unusual law in Greece, or you know, maybe it's usual for them, but it's unusual for us and the rest of Europe, that they're not allowed to produce a kind of milkshake lactosey IPA. But yeah, as you can see with this beer then, it's poured a nice bright yellowy golden colour. It really does look just like one of these kind of big New England IPAs. There was a half finger of a frothy white head on there. That's just faded away to be a very thin foamy layer pretty much. But you know, it does look exactly as you would expect from one of these kind of New England style IPAs, just like pineapple juice or mango juice or something like that. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see this beer is completely opaque. There's nothing really coming through that one at all, and you can smell some of the nice lactosey and vanilla and mango notes coming off this beer. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with it. Oh yeah, I'll tell you right away, the mangoes really jump out at you on this one. The mango juice, you can pick up a little bit of the passion fruit, but for me it's the mangoes that are really jumping out of this beer at you. But you can smell definitely the lactose and the vanilla really jumps out at you. There's a little bit of grassiness and floral character from the hops, but the fruity side of things is dominated by the mangoes. And as I say, there is a little bit of passion fruit there, but you're not getting too much in the way of the kind of hoppy flavours, or the hoppy aromas rather, that you would expect from these hops that are in there. Like normally you would get a good bit of like orange or orange and tangerines and things like that from the Mosaic. And you know, the Eldorado will give you quite a bit of a pineapple-y passion fruit kind of thing as well. But really, it's those kind of vanilla, the vanilla milky notes that are dominating this one. It does smell as if it's got a really quite sharp sweetness to it, which is quite interesting. It's almost just like, it smells a little bit like a sorbet actually, like a fruit sorbet ice cream. That's probably a good way to describe the aroma of this beer. Yeah, especially when you sugar it up, you're definitely getting a little bit of that kind of fruit acidity out of the beer. It definitely has a little bit of a tart quality in the aroma. There's no doubt in my head about that. But yeah, vanilla in there, a little bit of a bready note, some, as I say, the kind of lactosey flavours are coming out as well. But overall, you know, it does smell really quite nice actually. But it's quite sharp and quite fruity, so just be aware of that if you're going to try this beer. So yeah, let's have a taste of this one then. So this one, what was it called again? The Lost Highway, a collaboration beer between Northern Monk and Seven Islands Brewery and the Nomad Clan, an art project from Manchester. Let's get stuck into this beer. 7.4% milk, vanilla, fruit IPA. Let's get stuck into this one. Slàinte, skål, yamas. Yeah. See, to be honest, it's kind of funny because I can see why the Greeks might have to ban that beer. Because, you know, I'm just thinking, I could drink that as a kid and have no idea that it is actually a beer. Yeah, I mean, it's one of these ones, I mean, obviously, there are these whole arguments that go on about what's a beer, what's not a beer, blah 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 these days. But really, this one, if I was to taste this blind, I'd just be like, you know, hang on a minute, is that actually a beer? It is really nice. You know, it's really nice that is a beer though, that's the main question. It's quite funny, but I wasn't expecting that. I can see why they might have had to ban this beer in Greece, because it probably, you know, it probably is quite, the reason they've probably done that is because it's quite similar in flavour and stuff to some of the other things that they sell out there. But it's a really good beer. I mean, have a go at this if you get the chance. The Lost Highway, Seven Island Brewery, from my experience, you know, the Citra Blast is a bloody good beer. The Nocturnum, sorry, it's not Nocturnum, it's Regulus it's called. I don't know why I'm thinking Nocturnum. But the Regulus is a really good beer as well. You'll see my review of that a little bit later on. But this one, again, you know, they've done really well with that. You can see the Seven Island Brewery are going to be one of the really big ones in Europe over the next little while. If they establish themselves properly, on the basis of the beers I've tried from them, you know, they're going to do very well. Northern Monk are already pretty established, and I can see Seven Islands getting up there with them at some point soon. But yeah, it's a nice beer this. I mean, in terms of the mouthfeel, it's just, everything goes together like really well. You can feel with this one, there's a little bit of bready quality, that just blankets the middle of your palate. In the middle of your tongue, there's a little bit of an oaty, creamy quality to it. There's a little touch of biscuity sweetness, but the lactosey notes and the vanilla that are in it, they just kind of dominate the palate. The lactose just gives the beer that really kind of creamy mouthfeel in the middle of the palate. And there's a little bit of that kind of vanilla quality in there as well, which is really nice. But yeah, that's a good beer. If you get the chance to try it, have a go. It's so easy drinking. It's definitely, you know, it's a summer beer, that. Make no mistake about it. It's a really easy going summer beer. I really quite like that one. That's probably one of my favourite beers that I've reviewed out of that Northern Monk Patrons project, actually. I'd go that far with it. It's just really nicely done. I do hope that Seven Island Brewery, I hope that the laws change a little bit and they can produce something like that, because obviously, you know, if they can bang heads together and produce something like this, it's a really good sign for them. On the hoppy side of things, Back corners of the palate you can pick up a little bit of earthiness, and as you come further forward along the sides of the tongue you can pick up a little bit of a nice floral aromaticity to this beer, and then round the very front curve of the palate it's just a little bit lighter and grassy, and of course just behind the front curve of the tongue there you can pick up that little oily bubble where those nice juicy fruity esters start to come out of the beer. For me with this one, you can pick up, there's definitely a little bit of that mango in there, there's a kind of grapefruity, passion fruity thing just underpinning it, and as you go further into the aftertaste you start to get a little bit of the tangerines, you get a little bit of the blueberry coming out from the mosaic as well. The tangerines and the blueberry of course are two of the main things from mosaic, but there's definitely a lot of passion fruit in this beer. You know, they've added it, I'm sure it's passion fruit they have added to this beer, isn't it? Yeah, you can definitely pick up the passion fruit and the mangoes. One of the things I would say about this beer is it's not incredibly high in terms of IBUs. I mean, around the edge of the palate, you can definitely pick up the mango and the passion fruit juice there. And one of the things that when you add fruit to the beer, one of the things that it always does is it suppresses a little bit the kind of floral, grassy, bitter aspects of the beer, and it does take away some of the IBUs. But in terms of the flavours of this beer, when it's a milkshake IPA, you know, it really does suit it. It reminds me actually, this beer, of the $10 shake from Siren in some ways. That was a really, really good beer, although it did retain some of that kind of hoppy bitterness to the beer. But overall, you know, it's a really, really nice beer. I mean, for me, the mangoes and the passion fruit just mix really well, and they linger into the aftertaste, and then as you get further and further into it, more of the vanilla starts to come out as well. It's the vanilla and lactosey thing that really starts to kind of take hold with this beer. But overall, you know, it is just it's a really bloody good beer. You can't really say much more about it than that. It reminds me a lot of the $10 shake. It's a little bit more fruity and juicy than that, right enough. And the lactosey and vanilla components are a little bit different. The $10 shake, from what I remember, was a little bit more of a kind of straight up New England style IPA. I can't remember if it had a bit of vanilla in it, but it was quite a lactosey one from what I remember. This one definitely has a little bit more of that vanilla lactosey element to it, which, you know, as the name suggests, or as the brew sheet suggests, it would have. But overall, you know, it's just a really good beer. I could sit and drink that all day, which is quite dangerous. At 7.4% as well, it certainly covers up the alcohol. You know, that it's such an easy drinking beer that it's quite dangerous. You know, you could easily sit on Corfu or on the coast of Greece somewhere and just enjoy a couple of these. It's a really easy drinking beer. In terms of the mouthfeel then, mid-bodied, carbonation is really quite smooth on this one. It's got a little bit of an oily mouthfeel, but it does have a good bit of creaminess there to balance it out. A little bit of hoppy bitterness, but like I said, that's kind of suppressed a little bit by the juicy fruity character that they have from actually adding the fruit into the beer. A lot of juicy fruity notes from this beer incidentally, and the malt base is very smooth, but there's a nice little bit of sweetness and creaminess into the beer as well. So overall, a really solid beer, and I'm glad that I got to review this one. It was quite nice how that turned out actually. I didn't know that they'd done a collaboration until I actually reviewed the Citra Blast from these guys, but I'm glad I managed to fit this one in, and you will see a review of the Regulus from Seven Island coming up very soon, and of course I will be reviewing more Northern Monk Patrons Project beers for you over the next little while as well. So if you get the chance to try this one, the Lost Highway, it's really pretty good. I really recommend that you do. If you enjoyed the $10 shake from Siren, then that's a beer. Then this one is a beer that I think you'll enjoy in the same light. So yeah, let's leave it at that. So this one was the Lost Highway, a collaboration beer between Seven Island Brewery from Corfu in Greece, Northern Monk, part of their Patrons Project of course, from Leeds in Yorkshire England, and also involving the Nomad clan, who did the artwork for this one from Manchester. But a really good beer, and one that I highly recommend. So once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know your favourite beers from Northern Monk and from Seven Island Brewery, of course. And until the next time, Slange just now. I will catch you guys very soon. Lovely beer, and I'm glad that I got to review this one. So Slange just now. I will catch you guys very soon. Skål, Yamas.